Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida says he's running against wokeism and leftism. Here it is.
Why is right now the time for Ron DeSantis to run for president?
Because everyone knows if I'm the nominee, I will beat Biden and I will serve 2 terms and I will be able to destroy leftism in this country and leave woke ideology on the dustbin of history. At the end of the day, I've shown in Florida an ability to win huge swaths of voters that Republicans typically can't win, while also delivering the boldest agenda anywhere in the country. And I think there's a reason why the legacy media is attacking me more than they're attacking anybody else, because I think they realize that if I'm successful in winning the Republican nomination, we're going to bring it home in the general election. And I've pledged to Republican voters, if you nominate me, I will be taking the oath of office on January 20th, 2025 on the west side of the Capitol. No excuses, no more excuses about why we can't get it done. We need to get it done, and I will get it done.
As I predicted, Governor Ron DeSantis running for president of the United States. Now, in his proclamation, there's something missing. He's not talking about bringing the nation together. He's not talking about creating bipartisan avenues, nor delivering a policy agenda that the majority of Americans actually agree with. He's running against leftism and wokeism. Understand, he has been utilizing the state of Florida as a lab. He's a mad scientist. And all of these bold bills, as he calls them, they have been passed contrary to the sentiment of most Americans, contrary to the sentiment of the majority of Floridians, ironically. His campaign released a statement that read in part, the DeSantis campaign shared a clip later, okay? A clip of the Florida governor's remarks on Fox and Friends, highlighting how central combating wokeism is to the campaign. The question is, if he's not delivering a policy agenda, if he's not running on an economic platform, if he's not running on the platform of solving an actual real problem that everyday people face, what is he running on? He's running against the idea of wokeism. Well, we have seen what happens when you ask a Republican, what is being woke? Most of them have absolutely no idea, but they do know that it means black. And they do know that it is adverse to what people like DeSantis, Trump, and others want. And that's enough for them. Let's put up the actual definition of wokeism. The term was originally coined by progressive Black Americans and used in racial justice movements in the early to mid 1900s. To be woke politically in the Black community means that someone is informed, educated, and conscious of social injustice and racial inequality. This is simple. If you don't believe in wokeism, you obviously believe in sleepism. The only individuals who do not want you to be woke are those who would prefer you to be asleep. Look at the irony of the dynamic being presented. Those who follow DeSantis, those who follow Donald Trump are typically uninformed. They do not care about the facts. They are contrary to truth. Why? Because they are not woke. You see, they like their followers to ask no questions. They like their followers to have no independent thinking. And then they will say, if a Democrat or a left-leaning person would like to engage in a different policy dynamic, well, all of a sudden, it's just wokeism. Understand the messaging they are creating. They are creating words, brands. Wokeism is a brand. It's a brand, okay? Critical race theory, they made it a brand, okay? So now they don't have to work hard to convince you on the policy. All they have to say is that the policy is from the woke agenda. And if you believe that wokeism is bad, you obviously will believe that whatever comes from the woke agenda must be bad too. This alleviates their requirement to make a good faith argument. It is all connected. Now, he's the guy who's likely at number 2, maybe even number 1 in the Republican field, depending on what state you poll. There's more. Historic situation happened on Saturday. Republican Attorney General out of Texas. Well, he gets impeached. Attorney General Ken Paxton has been under investigation for a while. We've covered these investigations. And these investigations are over allegations of illegal activities related to his political donors. Paxton will immediately be suspended from his duties, and the trial will happen in the state Senate. Now, what is he being accused of? The real question is, what is he not being accused of? He's being accused of bribery. He's being accused of corruption. He's being accused of misuse of his office. Now, these things are illegal. They're against the law. They're felonies. Has he been indicted criminally? No. He has been impeached. He will undergo a process. Republicans in Texas are behind the impeachment. Let's put him up. The state representative who actually has some level of decency, at least as it relates to the AG. Representative David Spiller, a Republican who serves on the House General Investigating Committee, told members of that committee, even though he thinks Paxton is a brilliant lawyer, he called him a brilliant legal mind, he still violated the law. According to Representative Spiller, he said, and I quote, he put the interest of himself above the laws of the state of Texas. He put the interest of himself above his staff, who tried to advise him on multiple occasions that he was about to violate the law. Now, who is defending the Attorney General of Texas, who in fact is now impeached by Republicans for violating the public trust of the citizens of Texas? Who's supporting him? This fella, the former president of the United States of America, who is under criminal investigation himself, who himself was impeached twice. These connections are important because it gives you an idea of who they actually are looking out for. So former President Donald Trump defended the Texas AG over the weekend, talking about his impeachment was actually election interference, is what he calls it. Paxton quickly endorsed Trump when the former president launched his run for the White House back in November, and he backed Trump in 2016. Paxton also led the failed legal attempt to overturn President Joe Biden's victory in 4 battleground states. Now, remember, he's AG of Texas. This man literally was leading the battle for other states on behalf of Trump. Trump returned the favor last year, backing Paxton in a hotly contested Republican primary race. This was against the land commissioner of Texas, George P. Bush. Who is George P. Bush? That's the nephew and grandson of the former presidents, both of them. All right. Who are they concerned about? Is it you? Is it a policy? Is it delivering an agenda? No, it is simply protecting those who are also corrupt. Because as long as everyone is corrupt and they protect the others who are corrupt, somehow they get to skate by being corrupt. My point is, no one is talking about you. No one is talking about delivering for you. That is a problem. We will continue to follow. Sharon, what are your thoughts here?
They're not talking about the people at home, the people who actually think they're voting for one party or candidate versus another, Dr. Richey, because it doesn't belong to them. And the Republicans, no matter if you're MAGA wing or perhaps some of the others who have gone along with the play here, it doesn't belong to you anymore, and we'll do as we please, as evidenced by this.
Yeah, we shall see if the voters of Texas, the citizens of Texas, if they agree with this move.